Stop. Finished. Right, so shall we review?
I think people have been waiting a long time for this one.
There must have been.
Yeah, this is sort of like a bit of an obvious one for us.
We have to do the Neil thing. Hawkwind or Marillion. It is. Script for a Jester's Tear. Obviously, it was the Silmarillion. Incredibly nerdy name for a band. Yes. Bonus. It should be, I should concur with this. Hated by the industry. Everybody, all the bigwigs, the people with ponytails, the media dicks, all hate them in your face. They were massive in the 80s, right? Yeah, but it just doesn't. I can't get into it. It's on and I forget it's on. It's just not. It's not. I'm not penetrating it. It's not happening. And so I decided, right, now it's time to do it. Because this happened with Rush as well, remember? I couldn't get into Rush. I had a couple of albums and knew I should like Rush, and it just didn't. And then we reviewed them, and I was like, and they're amazing, and now I'm buying all their albums. But well, with this one anyway, it's not happening yet. This is their first album. They were a band without Fish, and I know they had instrumental music. I don't know if there was some singing on other songs or there was no singing. I know The Web, track 3, was in an instrumental demo they had, and I get the impression it was they were actually an instrumental band, and they didn't want a vocalist at one point, and then discovered this lunatic, and it all took off, etc. I'm going to try and limit the facts to save them for the other videos. I think that's the way we need to do it. Okay, otherwise.
But this video might be 2 minutes long then, Kev.
Well, yeah, maybe. So my new thing is listening to things in the morning before work. Well, at work, but so I get to work about 7:15. No one arrives until 8 o'clock, which is exactly right, isn't it? Now, of course, people start arriving and walking in and out, and have to keep putting the music on and off, and so it's got more difficult. So I didn't go very far. This is early days, though. It's their first album. They had, so I know they had material. I know Fish wrote stuff to sing on the material that was already there. So maybe the songwriting will get better. Maybe they haven't, maybe that's the thing, that this is an early stage and they haven't meshed yet. But it sounds like Marillion. It is the sound of Marillion, definitely. Sorry, 80s Marillion, I should say. And all those albums sound like this. So describe the music: an 80s version of Genesis. No. An 80s version of Selling England is what it is. But it's an 80s version. So is that a good thing, is the question, I suppose. What you have to take out the 70s now. So you're taking out the good bit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, because I can't. It's impenetrable. I haven't got into the album. It's still not. It's on. It plays. Music plays, and it finishes. Oh, was it finished? I don't know what it is. I don't think Marillion fans like the Genesis comparison. They say, no, it doesn't sound that much like Genesis. But it's definitely there. I mean, the Steve Rothery, Steve Hackett thing, come on. It is. Does Fish sound like Peter Gabriel? He does. But obviously much more like Peter Hamill. Obviously. It's the Peter Hamill thing, actually, and he does sound a lot like him. But you put him on that, it sounds like Selling England, doesn't it? But without the something. And of course I mean Mark Hamill, not Peter Hamill.
This didn't sound like I expected it to sound. Yeah, it does sound like I expected it to sound. There's sort of like Marillion in my head. I tell you what, I'm almost like a synesthete right now. It's just purple. I just see purple and neo-proggy sounds. Whatever neo-prog's got, Marillion are the standard bearers for it.
Yeah, that might be the problem.
Yeah. But actually, when I put it on, I thought, is this a Genesis tribute band? Because
sounds like Selling England.
It does sound like Selling England.
Yes, it does.
And you say Fish kind of sounds like Peter Gabriel. He sounds exactly like Peter Gabriel. How many people sound like Peter Gabriel?
Exactly. No one else sounds like that.
That's mad. And even the sort of the take is Peter Gabriel, sort of like jokey, kind of crazy sort of stuff. I mean, no one writes songs in the sort of Selling England / Lamb sort of area, like Peter Gabriel does.
Yeah.
You know, the subjects he picks are, there's something very definitive about it.
Yeah.
And this is that. This is exactly the same. It's sort of like, you know, I thought
There's Marillion fans going, no, it's not. It's not.
it is.
It's the same.
It
is a smoothed over 80s easier version of.
And I can understand it actually, because I love that era of Genesis.
Well, yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
So why wouldn't you?
and I think them trying to move away from it was a mistake. And I'm not really interested in Genesis post Peter Gabriel. I've got to be honest.
Confirmed that.
Yeah,
Thoroughly, haven't we?
Yeah.
If you go to our Patreon, you'll get the videos of all the other albums.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
so I can understand why you would do it. I can understand why you'd be upset to do it, because they've actually, it's not like Musical Box, which are a tribute band.
Yes, it's not supposed to be a tribute band.
Another guy that sounds exactly like Peter Gabriel from the 70s somehow. They are actually writing music, and I'm sure there is something incredibly personal in here. But I can't tell what it is, because when I'm listening to it, I'm just thinking Genesis.
It sounds like Genesis.
Yeah, it just sounds like Genesis. So I think it's probably quite unfortunate that Fish does sound like that, because it's unavoidable. It is unavoidable that you're going to make that comparison.
If that's like one of our favourite albums, that's what we're going to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, there is a modern guitar sound in bits of it. The first bit of Forgotten Sons, very, very contemporary of 82, actually. Is this 82 or 83?
97.
Oh, 1997, okay. I haven't listened to the second disc. I've never put it on, because I haven't got into the album yet, so the second disc is worthless at the moment. Maybe that would help. Maybe demos would help.
Have you bought this album for this review?
No. I've had it for years and years.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably 1997. Actually, no. Probably 10 years later than that. And that's a very, what I would call Three of a Perfect Pair sounding very digital synthy guitar. It's not synth guitar, but that kind of sound on some of it. And that's not Genesis. That is something slightly different. But there's not a lot of it. Most of it, it's Steve Rothery sounding like Steve Hackett, and Fish sounding like Peter Gabriel. And I suppose the keyboards must be very Banks-esque, big chords and all that kind of stuff. Although there's no big keyboard solos. None of that. But that really wouldn't be allowed in 1982. The fact that is a success makes people very angry, and that's great.
And yeah, so people getting upset that we're comparing this to Jenny. What you got to remember is that we think Selling England and the Lamb is a standard bearer.
Yeah, that type of prog that it will that's the best.
Yeah, and if it's evocative of that, that is a good thing.
Yeah. So why can't I? I don't dislike it. It's just nothing. I get nothing. I don't understand.
Because it probably sounds like they're walking a path that you've already explored.
Yes.
With Genesis.
Yeah, had Genesis kept doing Selling England albums.
So that's the failure of this. I'm going to assume that they were not trying to replicate Genesis. They're obviously extremely influential, but they're not trying to replicate it, and they've failed in their
not like Genesis,
to sound like they're doing. Although I'm sure the process is put real effort into making this.
These are proper music artists in the era of being, even using that word was like offensive. How dare you have your own art? You should just have product. It's the 80s now. All that matters is the bottom line.
Anything else to say about Marillion?
Well, I think are they the original neo-prog band? I've got this horrible feeling we said exactly that about Rush, but I don't think that's true with Rush. Rush, who are influenced by Yes, but they were just doing their own thing. We are a prog band.
Yeah.
And the prog bands never said that until later. Later they would have done. Genesis never said, "Oh yes, we're prog. We're just like King Crimson," because they're not. But Marillion will say, yeah, we're prog, we're like Van der Graaf and we're like all these bands, you know. So it is neo-prog. They invented neo-prog.
New wave prog.
Yeah.
Second wave. Should we call it second wave? Prog second wave.
The second wave of prog. Retrogressive. So yeah, everything about it should be applauded. Script for a Jester's Tear is incredibly pretentious.
When you told me the title, I was like...
I know, it's terrible. It sounds terrible. It isn't, actually. Script for a Jester's Tear.
It's
so
too clever
bad.
by half, isn't it? It's sort of like...
See, I think if we made some music, it would be ironic music, and we would do things like that. I think that's... Whatever we do, that's what will end up happening. We will be joking. Because we won't be able to do it good, so we just make it stupid. I think Chelsea Monday's a big song. I wonder if maybe... See, we're getting the facts wrong now. That Chelsea Monday was a song by their previous band. So that might have already had vocals and Fish had to sing it. Maybe. So this is actually, the combination of their material, make an album kind of thing. And the story goes, well, that should be the best stuff, and then the second album's hard. But with a band like this, I don't think that's the case. I think when they're a band with Fish, that's a different thing. So maybe that's what we're going to find. I hope.
What do you think of the drumming on this, Kev?
Nothing. I can't even tell you what the drumming sounds like. Now that's nothing like Genesis. I also can't tell you what the drum's called. I don't know. One of the early songs was called Lady Fantasy. I don't know if actually that no one's realised it's actually the Camel's track and they were doing a cover, or they just called a song Lady Fantasy. But who calls a song Lady Fantasy? It's a terrible title. Steve Rothery, quote, this is a later quote, bear in mind, it's one of those things, it's like bands saying that they're prog. If Pink Floyd and Radiohead had a love child that was in touch with their feminine side, that would be us. You can see he's associating himself more with more famous bands. But that sounds awesome. That's even if it's not that good, that's just fantastic, does it? Yeah, great, yeah, brilliant.
We're like Pink Floyd and Radiohead.
Yeah, but nothing. I have nothing. Nothing. It's not going in. I tried, and when I bought it, it was just put it on. No. And every now and again, I try again.
I wonder if it just seems everything is constructed to make it that way. So a Script for a Jester's Tear does sound almost like phonetically interesting, but not actually.
Oh, it sounds pretentious.
Anything?
Yeah. Oh, so that's the kind of a prog kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the cover as well. There's little bits of things. There's little tiny little bits around. I never like that. That's a lot of bad prog covers are like that. I mean, that's actually quite a good.
Yeah,
cover.
that's quite good.
But that Foxtrot. There's a thing there, and there's a little bit there, and it looks like some child's drawing. This is done by an artist, so it looks really good. So that's cool. Yeah.
What's that line in oh god, the Alan Moore comic thing, superhero thing, Watchmen. Yeah, what's that line in Watchmen?
Who watches the Watchmen?
No, Doctor
Rorschach's Journal.
Yeah, Rorschach's Journal. Doctor, I'm feeling incredibly depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that joke is this whole album. Well, it's the concept in this whole album, I suppose.
Actually, you can do the voice. So do you want to do it?
Yeah. Why is that not?
Don't worry, it doesn't fit, bro.
All right.
You can use the pen to. That's what this is for. It's £100 pen. It's great for clipping this in here.
Heard joke once. Man goes to doctor, says he's depressed, says life seems harsh and cruel, says he feels all alone in a threatening world where what lies ahead is vague and uncertain. Doctor says, treatment is simple. Great clown Pagliacci is in town tonight. Go and see him. That should pick you up. Man bursts into tears. Says, but doctor, I am Pagliacci.
There you go, Script for a Jester's Tear.
The script for a Jester's. Yeah, so I can't egg this album. So you've watched this review, and you have been shortchanged. Because I've not been able to review it because it's independent. All I can say is I don't get it. It hasn't gone in. So no eggs from me. I can't egg it.
Yeah, it's quite difficult because the actual production is quite good. Actually, it doesn't sound bad.
It's very good music.
Yeah, it's good
very
music.
I can hear the good music playing.
Yeah.
But I neither enjoy it or don't enjoy it.
Yeah, how do you egg that? I mean, it feels really harsh to give it 3 eggs because it's actually quite accomplished.
Yeah, so does that mean all neo-prog gets 4 eggs? By default, unless it's terrible.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but I'm not egging it. I can't because I don't get it.
Oh well, I'm going to give it 3 eggs. You got to be
Okay.
You got to be strong about these things and just say, well, it could be the best music in the world.
Yeah, but if you're not
If
getting anything out of it.
because like the production, as you say, on the Lamb
Oh no, the £100 pan.
is awful. Yeah, that's 6 eggs.
Yes,
You know,
because the music transcends.
and the Lamb lies down. I mean, that's incredibly clunky.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. Yeah, the song. Yeah, the first time you hear it, it's called "The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway." And you put it on, and it goes, "And the Lamb lies down on Broadway." Yeah, no, that's not very good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So
you
we're
next
doing
week.
more Marillion, aren't we?
Yeah, no, we're not doing Fugazi. We are doing a bit of a. We've got to do one Hoggoth album, and obviously we've got to do Childhood's Misplaced Childhood.
Yeah.
So that's next week. Yeah, good. See you next week.